Hi, this is Vic. In this tutorial, we'll look at the overloading of constructors. In the previous tutorial of constructors, I have shown you how to use the default constructor and a zero parameterized constructor and other parameterized constructors. So here I'm taking an example of a user class. So a user can be anyone, and there may be many attributes associated to a single user. So let's take a small example in which limited attributes are associated with the user. Let's take a private string username, and a user can have a password. So private string password. So here we are taking only the two attributes, the username and the password. And now let's take a constructor user control space, and here NetBeans is asking you to generate a zero parametric constructor or a two parameterized constructor. So first let's create a zero parameterized constructor, and in the zero parameterized constructor let's give the default values for username and password. So for username let's give something as not specified. So if you create a user without giving any arguments, the username will contain not specified, and let's do same for the password. So let's make username equals password equals not specified. So what this statement is doing, it is assigning not specified to password, and then the content of password is assigned to username. So this is okay. And now let's create a two parameterized constructor user and control space, and here we get two parameterized constructor, and here it is. So if you create an object by passing a username and a password, this constructor will be called. And now let's create another method to display the value of username and password for the object, void display. And here let's s out the value for username equals plus username, password let's have plus, and password equals plus password, make it small, password. So when we call the display, we'll get the result for username and password. And in the user class, let's create an object of user1 equals new control space, and here it is user. So here I have created an object without giving any parameters, so we'll be getting not specified for username and password. So let's display the value of username and password. User1 dot display, and shift F6 to see. And here you can see the password is not specified and the username is also not specified. Let's give a comma over here. Yep. And let's create another object for a user2 equals new user, and the user2 will call display, but here we'll give it two parameters. First for the username, so let's give it a username first learner, and let's give it without space first learner. And the second parameter, the password, let's make it pass. And now let's shift F6. So here you can see we are getting first learner and password equal to password. So in the user class here you can see I have used user the same name, that is the constructor with the name user, and here also the same name. So this is overloading and the parameters are different, so this is the right way of overloading a method. And if I make this user use the string parameters twice, that is string a comma string b, so this will give an error that constructor is already defined in the class user. But if I change the parameter to something else, let's make it a float, so this will be absolutely right. So same rule applies to the overloading of constructors as it is applied in the overloading of methods. And if we want to copy the contents of one object to the other, what we can do, we can make a constructor by user and pass the object of user in it, user ob and parenthesis, and here with the curly braces we get the constructor. So this user constructor will be used when we'll pass an object of the user type. This dot username equals to ob dot username, and this dot password will be equal to ob dot password. So what this is doing is the object we have passed, that we have created earlier, the value of that object's username will be passed to the new object's username, and the password will be passed to the new user's password. So now let's call this constructor to make a new object. Here let's create another user, user3 equals new control space user, and here you can see we are getting 3 options to create a user. So let's use the second one, in which we have to give a new user. So let's name it user2. So in this way we'll get the same values of the user2 and the user3, and let's make it user3.display and shift F6, and here you can see the user2 and user3 are getting the same results. And if we change the user2 to user1, that is this user which is having nothing passed as in the parameters, we'll be having the not specified, shift F6, and here you can see we are getting not specified for the user3 and the user1. Let's make a method over here which will compare the objects if they are the same object or not. So let's have a void and name it compare, and in the parameter let's pass a user a, and here are the braces. So in this we'll be comparing two objects. If this equals a, then s out objects are equal, else s out objects are not equal. So this keyword is referring to the object that is calling this compare method, and a is the object that is passed for comparison. So here let's have a user3 call this compare method, and let's pass a user2, shift F6, and here we are seeing that objects are not equal. And let's see what happens when we pass object 1, that is user1, shift F6 again, and again we are getting objects are not equal because these are two different objects. This is some different object, this is a user object. We have created a new object with the new, and we have passed the same values that is referenced by user1, but this has its own memory location in the memory section. So these are different. And if we want to compare the internal values, then we don't have to use the equals. Then we need a method that is named as equals dot equals, and the object is a. So now if we execute this program, we'll get the same result because the equals method by itself is using the equals to see if the objects are equal. So to make it work for us in a useful way, what we need to do is override the equals method and the hash code method. So how to override? Let's have a right click over here and insert code. So here it is saying equals and hash code. Let's generate the equals and hash code, and it is asking for the fields. Let's have all ticked and let's generate. So NetBeans have overridden these methods, and about the overriding of methods we'll be seeing after we finish the inheritance tutorial. So for now, just remember that we have to override the functionality of equals so that we can use it to see if the internal values of the instances are equal or not. And this is by contract we have to do a hash code override, and about this also we'll be seeing in the later tutorial. So when we execute the program now, we'll get some different result. And here you can see objects are equal because they contain the same value. The user1 and user3 contain the same value, and if we pass a user2, then we'll get, oh sorry, not here, user2 over here. If we pass the user2 and compare it to user3, we'll get objects are not equal. So now this is for your practice purpose, that you override these equals and hash code methods and see what you can do. And I'll give a full tutorial on equals and hash code in the later part of the tutorial series when we'll get finished with the inheritance part. And this is all for the overloading of constructors, and see you next time.